Here we go.
Oh, I don't know what this thing is. I think it's a strip show, dance show.
Work there, dude.
Welcome to
DeaconLive.
DeaconLive. Well,
Welcome back, guys, on today's show. Hey, what's that guy doing in the water down there? Also, who knew about Mary Lou? And what is new? What's the new? What's the new? We break it and you fix it law. And don't eat my prairie dog. All this and much, much more will be discussed here on Deacon Live. How are you? How are things? How are things going? Are you doing okay? Welcome to Deacon Live, where we scroll through the news stories that you've missed on your social media feeds and stuff because you're just too busy out there. So we kind of decipher through some of it and just show you what you've missed in the last 7 days or so. How are you? Doing all right? Doing okay? You getting along with everyone? That's the main thing. And don't forget, for every podcast we do, you can see us here on YouTube. Make sure you go over to Deacon Live Podcast. Make sure you subscribe over there. It's not a money grab. I'm not doing it for the money over there. I do it for the money right here in this seat. So you can watch us over there, like and subscribe, and you can see all the different visuals and the articles that we talk about here in real time as we're talking about them here on the show. So, real-time talk. You ready for this? So, my wife has taken her first trip since COVID-19. When I say trip, business trip. They're slowly having the people work back into the office. And hold on, let me switch cameras here so you can see me. There we go. Hope everyone's all right. There you go. And they're passing out, I don't know, a memo to everyone in her company saying, hey, look, we're going to do this, what everyone's doing. We're going to do 3 days on, 2 days off. You have to pick your days and all this. And so she had to fly out to the big corporate meeting for the next 3 or 4 days or so over in Arizona. So I think they're like 2-3 hours behind us now. And we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, in a small little town called Marshville. Population 2,400, by the way. We lost 100 people. I guess I scared them off with last week's show. But she's gone. She's the first time, like I said, she's taken a trip out of, since COVID, out of her home office here to actually go into a building with all of her other employees. And I think at the start of the year, they're going to start doing that. So since COVID and everything's happening, that's what's going on in the world. We're slowly leaching back into our seats behind our desk and our cubicles, wherever you guys work, if you work in those kind of office fields. But one thing that we are in now, is this the second week of October? It's the 11th, so it's kind of a week and a half in October. And man, here in Charlotte, North Carolina, now I was born and raised in Orlando, Florida. We didn't see any kind of drops in temperatures until February. Yes, February. But here in Charlotte, North Carolina, we've been here for about 10, 11 years now. It's awesome. As soon as October 1st hits, and then October 2nd hits, temperature goes from 93 down to 84. And then I think we got a low tonight, overnight, of 49 degrees, a high of 75. So just like that, October, we're living it up here. It's fall time. And one of the things that happens during the fall season, are all these fall festivals. Now, in Florida, they have all these arts and craft festivals. If you're familiar with the Orlando area, there's the downtown area has a big place called Lake Eola, where the swans are, and the big boob-looking fountain that's out there that sprays up everywhere. That's the icon that you see. When you see Orlando and it's this big, I don't know what it is. It's like a dome. Well, that's the Lake Eola fountain. That's our icon for Orlando City. Not the mouse, believe it or not. But yes, the fountain down there. It's a huge lake. And I say a huge lake. It's a retention pond. It's a canal that they put in the middle of downtown Orlando. And they have hundreds and hundreds of vendors out there. They do this big Lake Eola in the park type deal. Now, up here in North Carolina, because outside of Charlotte, we're small. These towns are on their own. You got to figure out how to get, foot traffic in your area. And the next small big town that's next to us is Monroe. And they block off one street and they have like maybe 20 vendors out there, but the 10 by 10 tents, and you can walk up and down and do all that stuff. They got like a little bounce house and a little slide, the inflatable slides and stuff for the kids. But we've been going to Festivals. Now, here in Marshville, believe it or not, we are the home of Randy Travis. Yeehaw. And we had, it used to be called the Bull Weevil Festival. I know. I'm telling you, you hear banjos when you come into my neighborhood. Oh, Jesus. Hold on. I got to turn this off. Sorry, my bad. I know. My faux pas. But, so Randy Travis has attached his name because he was born and raised here. So they drag Randy Travis out of his cocoon, out of his oxygen tank because he can barely walk and breathe. And they drag him out here and they strap him to a chair and you take pictures with him for like $20. So it's gotten to be a big event. So my dad and I went. And it's huge. There's probably maybe a good 1,000 people, which is, a fourth of the people that live here in Marshville, but it's a great turnout. And as I'm walking up and down the booths, I'm like going, all right, there's a booth, there's a booth, there's a booth, there's a booth. And I'm like, all right, things have changed. A lot of people were doing craft stuff like during the pandemic because everyone was locked in their houses and everything. So I'm looking at this booth. Oh, look at this. A piece of wood with some kind of vinyl writing on it. That's nice. Home cooking starts at home. All right, that's a great little slogan. How much is that? Oh, that's $45. $45 for a piece of wood with that slogan on it? Yeah. You go to the next booth. It's Tupperware for some reason is coming back. I mean, like Tupperware. It looks new. It looks kind of cool. It's updated. But, the Tupperware you burp the top. Yeah, they used to have Tupperware parties. There's a booth full of Tupperware. I'm like going, what is this? And then the next booth is like children's books. And I'm like, is this a festival? Is this an art show? Is this a garage sale type deal? So I'm walking in and you can literally slogan on a board, Tupperware, children's books. Slogan on a board, Tupperware, children's books. And you're just walking down the different venues and the different tents that they have out there. And I was like, all right, this is boring. I said, maybe it's just this area. We're not too intelligent out here. We have, limited resources. And I said, well, this is what they've been doing in this area. And, you take it for what it is and then go on about your day. We walked the whole thing, I think, like an hour and a half. So in Union County, which is the county that we live in, they had another festival probably like a week ago. And my wife and I, actually this past Saturday, my wife and I met some of her friends, her horse riding friends. My wife rides dressage horse. She goes to competitions and stuff, or is working to getting competitions and bronze medals and all the accolades that come with riding and not professional riding, but, not just walking trails type deal. And so we met her friends out there, her horse friends, and we're walking around, and they must have had 30 tents. And that's nothing. That's like you walk that in 15 minutes, if you want to double time it, you can do it in 10. So I'm walking out there, or we're all walking out there, and there's a little bit different, but almost the same message on a board. So a thing of Tupperware and children's books, thing on a board, Tupperware and children's books. And now and then you get someone out there selling goat soap. Now, I like goat soap, so I bought some out there because I was out. My normal supplier has gone out of business. Well, they haven't gone out of business. The store that was holding their stuff, selling their stuff on consignment went out of business. Lazy bitches. I don't know how to run a business. Let's open one. So they're out of business, so I can't get a hold of my goat soap person. So I came across this person, bought some soap. They had some hot sauce lady out there, had some hot sauces. But here's the thing. Everyone out there, it was just like crafts that they've been locked up in their, during the pandemic. They're getting out there. They've gotten enough inventory and they're getting out there. So anyone who had like one of those, I don't know what the prices are now on those Cricut things, those vinyl cutout machines. Now, I bought my wife one. And I think at the time it was like almost $500. Ask me how many things she's cut out on that thing. 2. One was the sample, and the other one I was messing around trying to get the horse out of it, or cut a horse vinyl thing out of it. And now, granted, she's very, very busy woman. I'm not knocking her for it. I just wish that she had more time. I feel bad for her. I wish she had more time to sit around and play with it. But these people have plenty of time. And they're, you got a piece of wood, you got an old pallet. They'll staple those pallet boards together. And, honey, what should we put on this board? If it ain't broken, don't fix it. All right, that's a good one. And they type it in, they get this old country writing, and they cut it out and they slap it on the board. That's $45. Every booth out there, it seemed like Cricket made a killing in this area. All the vinyl writing, all this stuff. And then I don't know where you get all these children's books. I know they're not authors. I'm looking at the lady that's selling these children's books, and I'm like going, would you buy like a Tupperware bin full of at an auction somewhere? And you got all these children's books inside, and you're trying to get rid of them. And then, like I said, there was a lot of Tupperware being sold out at these fall festivals. Look, let me tell you something. Fall festival people, you've got to step up your game. You got to do something. You got to get more flair in your booths. You just can't have, all these. Now, there are some people that do actual like handcrafted stuff, but then you look at them and you're like, there's no way you made this. There's no way you made this. And you made this many of them thinking that it was going to be that popular. There's no way. So I don't know what happened, but the fall festivals just need to step up their game and do a little bit more to attract I don't know. They didn't have any entertainment. I guess that was where I'm getting at. Now, the Randy Travis Festival, of course, had a big stage and lots of entertainment. But the Union County one, you would think would be a little bit bigger, and it was not. And no entertainment other than watching these dogs walk around. Oh, look, can I take a picture with your dog? Yes, you can. All right, so that's what's going on. My wife will be back in town in the next couple of days, but I will be okay. So I know you guys are worried about me, worried about my well-being, but I will be okay, believe me. So stick around. We got a lot to talk about, and we're going to talk about that guy who jumped in the 911 memorial, the 9/11 memorial, 911. Listen to me, 911, the 9/11 memorial, and we'll get all the details of who he was and why he did it. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. 9/11, God 9/11. Welcome back to Deacon Live. We'd love to hear from you, and the way you can be part of the show, you can do that anytime. Go over to Prophet Radio, proud sponsors of Deacon Live. That's PROPHET radio.com. At the top of the page, or at the bottom of the page, says Be Heard. Opens up a microphone on whatever device you're listening to us on or at. Speak right into it. You can be anonymous if you want. You can ask us anything, question us on anything, or just want to be heard and say, hey, love the show, hate the show. What happened to this? What happened to that? We'd love to hear from you. We'll play it on this podcast if you get it in early enough. And if you don't, we'll play it on the very next podcast as well. We have coming up on 9 years worth of shows, guys. Can you imagine that? 9 years worth of shows doing this Deacon Live podcast. But we appreciate each and every one of you for listening to us. And to show our appreciations, Prophet Radio would like to give you a little prize pack while you're over at their website. Fill out the little form at the top. It's not an email grab. It's just a way of them saying thank you for supporting us for so many years, and just to give a little something back to you as well. Now, as you guys know, what was it, last week? They had the whole panic with the alarm system on all your phones, on all your devices and everything like that. We won't do that to you if you fill out that little form. Believe me, we don't have the technology to do it. But they actually did the whole warning. FCC and FEMA got together and said, hey, let's freak everyone out at 2:20 in the afternoon. Not like the one they did at 4 o'clock in the morning that freaked everyone out. But let's do it at 2:20 in the afternoon. Let's ring all the phones at the same time, and just to test our system. Now, there's a couple theories going on here, so hold on one sec. Bear with me while I go through them. First of all, it happened at 2:18. All right, so right then and there, can we trust the government to do something on time and correctly? The second thing is, now that this is the thing happened, the alarm went off, and well, no, it's a test. It's a test. Within 3 days, we've got the Hamas attack. Now, we don't get too political here. You guys, if you want political stuff, turn on your TV, turn on whatever you get your political news from. We don't get too political here. We just kind of keep it light and fluffy and try to do the best we can to entertain you and not bring you down. But it's just, ironically enough, 3 days they had that whole attack, Palestine attack. I don't know the details because I don't like to get into the humdrum of that stuff. But they had that attack over in Israel and the Gaza Strip, and things were parachuting in. Ironically enough, 3 days before we had that test. So no, nothing to worry about there. No, don't read into that, right? But something else that happened was in prisons. Prisoners were being busted left and right for phones behind bars. A national emergency alert system test turned out to be a huge success for just about everyone, unless you were a prisoner with an illegal cell phone behind bars. Millions of cell phones users across the United States got that alert on Wednesday from the FCC and the Federal Emergency Management Agency, which is FEMA. However, testing the systems made prisoners hiding their phone an easy target for the prison guards. A New York State prison official tells they confiscated 2 phones at the Sing Sing Correctional Facility during the test. Additionally, the source of the FCI Coleman Low in Florida says they too confiscated 2 phones during the emergency test. So can you imagine, you're sitting in and you don't know. I mean, if you're in prison, you might not know that, hey, they're going to fire off an emergency alert system. So you're just sitting there with the phone in your butt, out your butt. I don't know where it's at, underneath your pillow. Let's put it that way. All of a sudden it goes, wah, wah, wee, wee, wah, wah. Hey, Johnson, what? What's that noise in there? I got gas. No, you got a phone in here. Open 13. And they go in there and they toss the room and they find the phone. God damn it, government. Maybe they should do it a little bit more often. Or if they're in on it, would they want to do it more often? Now, this guy right here, he was in on something. You guys have seen the story. You guys have seen it on TikTok and all different variable angles. And people were freaking out about this guy who jumped into the Twin Tower Memorial. Now, if you don't know what the Twin Tower Memorial is, the 2 Twin Towers that fell on 9/11 in 2001, and I'm talking about the people overseas. They have, in the footprint of those 2 buildings, have a recess waterfall type memorial. So it drops about 35 feet, and then it goes into a smaller square, and then it drops another 20 to 25 feet. And it's just the water kind of cascades down. And this gentleman right here was caught on camera, put on TikTok all over the place. And so let's start with the story of what happened. Oh, excuse me. Actually, let's start with, now's a great chance, if you're not watching this on YouTube, go over to YouTube and you can see these videos in real time as I'm talking about it right here. Let me find the video real quick. Where is it at? Here he goes. This is a TikTok video that was out there. So I'm going to switch to camera 4, and you can see this video real quick.
Then jumps 45
There he goes, falls.
into the 9/11 Memorial North Pool.
And he walks through the water. It's about knee deep, a little less than knee deep of water. And he walks to the second square in the, and he's kind of laying on his stomach and looking down into the next pit that's falling where the water's cascading over. So everyone's watching him. He's laying on his stomach. What is he doing? Everyone's like, what is he? Oh my God, what is he doing? And he's just laying and looking over the edge, contemplating life, thinking about decisions that he's made.
Situation at the World Trade Center Memorial.
Police responded to.
Hold on. I'll get to the actual thing. So that's what happened there. So this is the actual article. This is the background story of what actually happened. So here we go.
Alarming situation at the World Trade Center Memorial.
Police responded to a story, to a situation where they had to rescue a man after they say he jumped into one of the reflecting pools. CBS 2's Dave Carlin reports from Lower Manhattan now.
Here's what we know. The man jumped into the north reflecting pool and was taken out. Chopper 2 was over the scene. Here's that video. It's about 30 feet down to the bottom. The water has been turned off. We do not know the man's name yet, but we are told he is 33 years old and he injured his leg doing this. Sources tell us rescuers with Port Authority police went through
and you could see the first initial drop is easily 30 to 40 feet deep.
Access door used for maintenance to get to this jumper.
Oh, here you go. Hold on.
Through an access door used for maintenance to get to this jumper. We have learned he told one of the officers he did this for his father, but it is unclear if that means he lost anyone on 9/11. We are trying to confirm a motive.
I just pray that they're still okay, and I'm curious to know why, but not everything is going to be answered.
We saw the firefighters and the emergency personnel come down the escalator as we went into the memorial. And they said, everything's fine, but...
Nothing to see here.
Going to like a back room, and we figured that down there where we were was where they could access.
The man who jumped will be getting a mental evaluation, and criminal charges may include trespassing. Those charges are pending. In Lower Manhattan, Dave Carlin, CBS 2 News.
Thanks, Dave. So he jumped into the thing, and he said he was doing it for his dad. Let me switch back to camera one. It's all about me now. He said he jumped in there. He said he was going to do it. He's doing it for remembrance or whatever for his dad. Now, we don't know still if his dad, and I've looked for articles and stuff, as far as why he did it. He said he just did it for his dad. We don't know if he lost his dad on 9/11. He was part of 9/11 because the guy looked a little brown, you know what I mean? Sandy brown, over Hamas type brown. But so that's what happened. And we'll keep you up to date when we find out more. All right, guys, stick around when we come back. You remember Mary Lou Retton? Yeah, remember her? Well, something's happened to her that's getting... I don't know. It's not getting a lot of press, and I think it should. So we'll dive into that and give her 15 minutes of fame again. So stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You want something for free? Well, we would love to give you something for free, but you got to do something for me and the powers that be. You have to go over to Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio, proud sponsors of Deacon Live, plus all the other different podcasts that are broadcast out of the studio. You can see we got a brand new studio here, and behind me on the wall, if you're not watching this over on the YouTube channel, now's your chance to go over there right now. We got a bunch of videos coming up here. I want you guys to see this as well. And you can see all the different shows that are broadcasted here out of, hold on, let me move the microphone so you can see it. There you go. That are broadcasted out of the Prophet Radio studio. So make sure you go over there and like them and say thank you for fixing the studio, and for saying thank you for listening. They'll give you a prize pack, and we can hear from you as well. You can speak right into there and be part of the show at any given time. That's Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio. Now, remember you remember the fires in Hawaii? Yeah, you remember. And they burned everything down, and there was conspiracy theory that it didn't burn anything with the color blue on it. There was a blue house, there was a blue car, there was a blue tarp, there was someone who was choking and he turned blue. They didn't burn him. And then you had Oprah and The Rock that came out saying, hey, look, between the two of us, we gave $10 million, and we urge you to go to the Hawaiian Maui Relief Fund and donate to help these people as well. And as you know, or might not know, but I'm going to tell you right now, they got a lot of flack, the two of them. You got Oprah Winfrey, billionaire, and you got The Rock, who's America's, not sweetheart. He's America's favorite buddy, I guess. I don't know what his title would be, but every movie he does, people flock to see it, whether it sucks or doesn't suck. But he's a draw. He's a box office draw. And I know he's making a little bit of money. He's a smart guy. Well, unfortunately, this happened, and he says, oops, sorry. Dwayne Johnson says he's been moved by all the messages he received from the survivors that have benefited from the People's Fund, because he was the People's Wrestler, I think he was called, the People's Fund of Maui, following the last month's wildfire. And he also appreciates those who spoke openly about their issues with the fund. The actor and producer responded to the public criticism for the fund, which he launched with Oprah Winfrey this past August. On Instagram, a video published over the weekend, the Entertainment Industry Foundation Fund launched with an initial $10 million donation from Winfrey and Johnson, and asked globally if the members could support the $1,200 a month donations to those who were displaced by the wildfires. Now, while Oprah Winfrey says the idea for the fund had come to her from a similar effort made by beloved musical magician. That'd be something in itself, right? Hey, look at my guitar. It's here. It's not there. Musician Dolly Parton, and it was met with criticism by some who argued that the people of Winfrey's and John's people. Hold on. Slow down, Trev. Oprah Winfrey said that she was inspired when Dolly Parton made a similar effort many years ago and was met by criticism when Winfrey, Oprah, and Johnson, with their level of wealth, could have simply put more money in the fundraiser themselves instead of asking for monetary support for those with less means. So Johnson said, The Rock said, when we first launched the fund, there was some backlash. I get it. I completely get it. I understand is what he's saying. I could have done better. Next time I will be better. Now, see, what you don't know is The Rock actually listens to all criticism from his fans because that's who makes him the way he is. And he's very, very humble about doing that, whether it's good or bad. Hey, Rock, you should do this. Hey, Rock, you shouldn't do that. And I have more respect for Dwayne The Rock Johnson for saying, hey, look, man, this is my first, fundraiser. I was going by Oprah. I thought that, if I follow her, she knows what, I'm just the face. She's the mind behind it. And then he started realizing, hey, I'm getting a lot of pushback and stuff like that. He's like, next time I'll know better. He's owned up to it. Have you heard anything from Oprah? Nope. She's off down the road. So I'm going to switch to camera 4. And don't forget, for every podcast we do, we have a matching video, and you can see this in real time as we're talking about it here. So here we go.
Dwayne Johnson is saying he learned his lesson after facing criticism over his Maui wildfire fund. In an Instagram video posted over the weekend, Johnson said he's been moved by all the messages from survivors that have benefited from the People's Fund of Maui following last month's wildfires, but that he also appreciates those who took issue with it. The Entertainment Industry Foundation Fund launched with an initial $10 million donation from Oprah Winfrey and Johnson, but asked global community members to pitch in to support $1,200 per month donations to those displaced by the wildfires. The move was met with criticism by those who argue that people of their level of wealth could have simply put more into the fund themselves instead of asking for monetary support from those with less means.
When we first launched the fund, there was some backlash that came with launching the fund, and I want to address and acknowledge that backlash right now, and here's what I have to say about that. I get it. And I completely understand.
What a stand-up guy. What a stand-up guy. He owned it. He's like, hey, man, this is my first time doing this. I have more respect for him now than not that I had less respect for him, but I have more respect for him now since that's come out. And I feel for him. I really do. He didn't know. Getting into that again. Now, someone out there, in my early teenage years, I had a big crush on this girl. Oops, let's start here. So in my early adolescence, I had a little bit of crush on this girl right here. Now, don't forget, for every podcast we do, we have a matching video, and there's a good time to go over here and see this video here, this classic. So I'm going to switch to camera 4, and you can tell me, do you remember this young lady right here, this smile that drowned out all our worries and woes during the 80s? So here you go.
Watch out, big boys.
So she had that infectious smile, and that's Mary Lou Retton. But I don't know, where is she now? Let me switch it back to camera 1. Thank you. I got everything going around at the same time. So here we go. Prayers are pouring in for legendary Olympic gymnast Mary Lou Retton. Ironically, the United States gymnast Mary Lou Retton is reportedly dealing with a significant illness. According to a message from her daughter, Retton is currently on a ventilator and not breathing on her own. The former U.S. gymnast has a rare form of pneumonia, and the family is asking for prayers. My amazing mom, Mary Lou, has a very rare form of pneumonia and is fighting for her life, McKenny Kelly Retton's daughter said in a message. She's not able to breathe on her own. She's been in ICU for over a week. Out of respect for her privacy, I will not disclose all the details. However, I will disclose that she is not insured. Can you imagine that? Doing all that for the United States and bringing home, I don't know, I forget how many gold medals that she had, but she had a bunch of gold medals, and now she's not insured. And she had a line of this and the line of products. I don't know if she had bad management or whatever. Fans are praying for Retton. Please join me in a prayer for the American gymnast Mary American gymnast icon Mary Lou Retton, who is currently battling a rare life threatening form of pneumonia. So, I mean, hold on, what's this say? Here's a little article here, so hopefully we can play this one without it screwing up. Find out a little bit more details on this. So here we go.
Olympic gold medalist and Fairmont native Mary Lou Retton is in an intensive care unit and fighting for her life. That's a quote, as she battles pneumonia. Now, according to a spot fund set up by her daughter, McKenna Kelly, Retton has been in the ICU now for over a week and has not been able to breathe on her own. Kelly said that out of respect for her mother's privacy, she would not disclose any more details, but did say that Retton is uninsured. And as you know, Retton made history as a gymnast during the 1984 Olympics when she received 2 perfect 10 scores in the floor and vault categories.
I was 11.
In that same Olympics, Retton became the first American in history to win all-around gold for gymnastics. She also won 2 silver medals and 2 bronze.
So there you go. Mary Lou Retton. Hearts and prayers, thoughts and concerns and all the stuff for Mary Lou Retton out there battling. Switch to camera 1, please. There we go. Battling some kind of rare form of pneumonia. All right, guys, when we come back, are you a texturnist? And if you are, your friends are going to hate you. And I'll dive into that. What? Let's try that again. And your friends are going to hate you. And I'll dive into that when we come back. Stick around. You'll listen to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Yeah? Okay. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all your... Oh, God, that sounds weird. I got to put my headphones on. Hold on. Feels like I'm yelling, so let's try this again. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks, and the way you do that is... Oh, shit. Fuck me. We're recording still? Yes, I guess so. Doesn't matter. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on all your social networks, and you can find all those links that links us to you and you to us as well by going over to Prophet Radio, Prophet Radio. At the top of the page says social contacts. You can see all the links. Instagram, TikTok. Yes, we have TikTok videos out there. We like to have fun with those. I do a little crazy stuff around the house. So make sure you go over there and like and subscribe. And while you're over there, get yourself something for free. Fill out that little form. It's not an email grab. And make sure you like and subscribe to us over there on YouTube. And we'd love to hear from you as well. So you can all do that over at the Prophet Radio website. Now, are you considered a texturist? Texturist? Textertunis. And are you dealing with one? Here's how to spot this annoying habit. Now, do you have someone in your life who doesn't respond to your texts for hours or even days at a time? And when they finally get back to you, it's because they need something. It may go something a little bit like this. I text you and say, hey, do you still want to get dinner on Saturday? 4 or 5 days passes by and they respond back going, oh, sorry, I can't this weekend, actually. By the way, can you put me in touch with your babysitter? That is what they call a texturist. Textertunist. I don't know how to pronounce that. Let's see if Google will pronounce this for me. Copy. Because I'm having so much fun already dealing with all the indications and stuff that this thing is skipping all over the place. There we go. This is skipping too. Are we skipping? No, we're not skipping. Maybe if I keep it like that, I'll have less problems keeping it in that window, that format over there. All right, how to pronunciation. Let's see. Do you know what? Is there a video that says what it says? We'll find out. What else could go wrong?
Texting is now a normal form of communication in relationships. And like all communication, some people struggle with it. One type is getting a name, a textertunist. This type of texter ignores your...
Textertunist. There you go. They're called textertunists. Thank you, Internet. You're so grateful. If it sounds familiar, you may be dealing with a textortunist. A textortunist is a person that behaves in a similar seeming opportunist way via text, only replying to your messages when they need a favor or have something to gain from the interaction. Radio silence can be frustrating when you're waiting for a response. If this kind of thing happens to you often enough, it may make you feel a little bit used at some times. The original texter may feel that the relationship is more utilitarian than functional rather than reciprocal or equal. Here's an easy way. It's easy to write off texting as some frivolous form of communication, but we shouldn't. A 2014 Gallup poll found that texting had become the dominant way of communication for young Americans younger than 50. Made it. Just made it. According to one 2016 survey of millennials, 75% responded that they would prefer a cell phone call. They prefer a cell phone that could only be used for texting over one that could make actual phone calls in itself. In other words, texting is a big part of how we stay connected. It's funny. I was watching Netflix the other day. Make sure I got the right screen. I was watching Netflix the other day, and there was a movie. I don't know if it was Netflix. I just say Netflix because it's kind of like one of those IPs that you're like, give me the glass cleaner. No, give me Windex. Give me Kleenex. That type of stuff. And I was watching one of the streaming service, and there was a new movie out, horror movie, kind of comedy, but horror movie at the same time. It was called Totally Killer. And it's got the girl, the cute little blonde girl from Sabrina. She's in that now. Now she's getting all these little crazy teenage roles and stuff. And there's a scene where the dad drops her off to, knock on the door and pick up her friend. And he's like going, hey, what are you doing? Get off your phone. He's like, Sabrina's like going, I'm letting her know that I'm here. He's like, go knock on the door. She turns around and goes, rude. And that's the mentality, the way we have in texting everything. So if you're a texturnist, whatever I said before, go with that. That's what they're calling them. So if you got some of those friends out there, get rid of them. Get rid of them. They're not good for you in any shape or form. I hate for you to be leeching onto those type people, waiting and hoping for them to text you back. Now, in the great state of California, they have now a new law on the books. Now, I don't know if you know this or not, but it takes an act of, quote unquote, Congress, an act of God to get laws put on the books, like their own, we have I almost said the 10 Commandments. We have the amendments to our Constitution, the Bill of Rights are the first 10, and then all the other articles of the Constitution. In California, this is now a law in California. Why am I looking at this? This is why everything gets all screwed up. California has now passed a law. Hold on. California's right to repair bill is now California's right to repair law. And you ask yourself, what the hell is that? California became the third state in the nation to pass the right to repair consumer protection law on Tuesday. They also accompany Minnesota and New York. California's right to repair bill has originally introduced in 2019 and passed nearly unanimous throughout the state's legislation in September. This victory of consumer and the planet, this is a victory for consumers and the planet. It just makes sense, says Jen Eggstrom, State Director of the Caliprig, I don't know what it's called, Calpirg, Caliprig, or something like that. Right now, we mine the planet's precious metals, using them to make phones and other electronics. We ship these products across the world and then toss them away a few years after use. We should be making the stuff last longer and be able to fix it ourselves when stuff breaks. Now, thanks to years of advocacy, Californians will now be able to, with the right repair law, fix their phones as needed. It turns out that Google isn't offering 7-year replacement parts on software updates to the Pixel 8 out of goodness of their unbeating corporate heart. The new law directly stipulates that all electronic and appliances costing more than $50 and sold within the state after, this is California, after July 1st, 2 years ago, will be covered under this legislation once it goes into effect July 1st, 2024. Now, what does that mean? For gears and gadgets that cost between $50 and $90, device makers will have to stock replacement parts, tools, and maintain documentations for 3 years. Anything over $100 gets it covered with a full 7-year term. Companies that fail to do so will be fined $1,000 per day. This violation on the first violation, and $2,000 a day for the second violations, and $5,000 thereafter. There are, of course, carve-outs and exceptions to the rules. No, your PS5, my PS5 is not covered, not even that new skinny one that's out there right now. None of the game consoles, neither alarm systems or heavy industry equipments that vitally affects the general income of the state and public interest and public welfare. All right. I'm thrilled that the governor has signed the Right to Repair Act into law. State Governor Susan Talamontes said, one of the bill's co-sponsors, as I've said all along, I'm so grateful that the advocates fueling for this movement with us for the past 6 years, manufacturers have come a long way to support the California rights to repair. This most common sense, small repair shops can give to the customers. So here you go. They were arguing about this for a very long time. And you know, to break it down in this side of the country, you know, for example, I've got a Kubota tractor out there. Now that Kubota tractor costs us a lot of money. And they said if me do any work on it, it voids the warranty. Now, we've had the tractor for almost, I think, 12 years now. So, of course, the warranty is now gone. But during that time, I could not do anything to that tractor. I would have to bring it in there. So their Kubota tractor people could do the warranty stuff on it. That's fine. I don't mind doing that. If it's under warranty, sure, by all means. But they have to maintain the vehicle or maintain all this stuff. There's a lot of things out there that you weren't allowed to work on. Like, for example, the reason why this is coming about is because think about all these Tesla cars, these all electronic cars, these autonomous cars that are coming out there. I don't know how to fix them. Now, granted, the next generation behind me and the generation behind them might be able to fix it. I know my dad at one time, that's all he worked on. I mean, I say all he worked on. If a car broke down, he would go out, turn a wrench, and on he would go about his day. But manufacturers right now are like going, no, just throw the car away, throw that away, throw it away. You don't need that. We'll make you a similar item, and you can have that as well to replace the one that just broke. It's cheaper to replace the broken thing than it is, and it's filling up our landfills and yada, 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 and the spiral of circle. And, well, I mean, I know my dad's at the point now where he's like going, I don't care about that. You know, I'm not, my job on this planet's done. And, you know, I'm at an age where I'm like looking at it going, all right, you know, in 30 years time, my job on this planet is done. But, you know, when is the next person's priority supposed to take over after that? So there you go. We break it, you fix it is now passed in California. That's the word I was looking for. California. All right, when we come back, one more little segment, and we'll let you get back to enjoying the rest of your day. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. For every podcast we do, we have a matching video. You can see me pulling my hair out here for the last couple segments or so while I deal with all the issues and stuff that I have here behind the scenes. And it's always fun to watch me stress out because I'm bashing my face. And I'm not doing the bone crushing thing because my face is almost perfect. So for this little piece right here, my wife got me. She was trying to remove a little skin tag I have, and now my eye is all bruised and stuff. And you can see this by going over to, yes, she didn't punch me. We didn't get into a fight. She was actually trying to remove a little skin tag, a little thing underneath my skin there by my eyeball. And it's a little bruised right now. And you can see this all over on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe over there. It's not I don't do it for the money over there. I don't do it for the clicks and likes. It's just another avenue for you to enjoy, another media avenue for you to enjoy the Deacon Live podcast. Coming up on in a couple of months, 9 years doing the show. So we appreciate all you guys over there. So make sure you check us out over there as well. Now, as you guys know, new listeners out there, we broadcast just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. We live in a small little town called Marshville, North Carolina, home of Randy Travis. Yeehaw! We have about 2,500 people, and I was actually looking at the stats of Marshville itself, and it says, 2,400 or 2,404 people. I thought it was 2,500 people, but, there's a, 3% difference. It says just in our little, I think it's 2 square miles that we actually live in, the town of Marshville, there's only 843 houses in this area. And I was like kind of taken back. I was like, 843 houses just in this area? And then it was like, how many people are married and how many people live by themselves. And there was an age difference and all. It gave the whole breakdown of Marshville and the stats of Marshville, the what do they call it, the demographics of Marshville. And I was like going, really? It just kind of put me back because I'm from Orlando, Florida. I was born and raised right there on Sand Lake Road and 441. So if you know we're in Orlando, that's the neighborhood I lived in. I lived in, Pine Castle, Sky Lake Park, or Candlelight Park, Pine Castle area. That's where I lived, and I grew up. I went to Oak Ridge High School and went to all those stuff. I went to Valencia, went to UCF, did all that stuff out there in Orlando. So when we moved up here, this is kind of like not a culture shock, but it is somewhat of a culture shock. When you take, Green Acres, there's a reason why that show was on the air. Now, one thing that we have out here in the country, because we sit on about 22 some odd acres, this is the reason why we're out here, by the way. We have horses and we have chickens. We have, cattle on both sides of us and everything that goes on when you own, acreage out here. A lot of people, their appetites are a little bit different. The stuff that they actually eat and ingest and digest is a little bit different than the normal person, the normal city person, city folk, for lack of a better term. And there's an article right now where hunters are saying, listen, don't listen to the critic. Listen, but don't listen to the critics. Go ahead and eat prairie dogs. And you're like going, what? Prairie dogs? Yeah, prairie dogs. Ooh, while I go through puberty here. Hunters are saying, go ahead and marinate in Italian dressing. Prairie dogs isn't half bad as far as table fare food. In South Dakota, a man once dined on the burrowing rodents and told Cowboy Slate Daily, go ahead and eat them. Considering the typical prairie dog's diet is similar to those of cottontail rabbits, and should come as no surprise that the meat of these two critters are similar in quality. If you consider what a prairie dog eats, other than the fact that he can be a little cannibal at times, they eat choice shoots and the most tender grass in the area. Their diet is similar to a bunny, and bunnies eat their own poop sometimes. Prairie dogs were on the menu during the conservation dinner in the western Nebraska he helped organize in the 1990s. I would guess that 15 to 20 men and women tried them, and I believe the honest ones would say that prairie dog tastes better than a prairie grouse, Grouse. I would eat it again, they said, as long as I could follow up with a well-prepared bison steak. So what they're saying is, if you have, people out there, they hunt squirrels. People say, I'm not eating a squirrel, it's a rodent. Some people do eat squirrels. Some people eat possum. There's a joke out there about possum stew and possum. No, these are things that are being eaten. You've grown up with Looney Tunes and the rabbit. It's hunting season. It's rabbit season. It's duck season. We eat ducks. Some people eat rabbits. You've seen movies where they've caught rabbits and eaten them, cooked them, prepared them, and ate them over a fire. Prairie dogs are next in line. Jasmine was telling us that who recently retired from a career with the USDA, says he works with several states, including Wyoming, Nebraska, and South Dakota. The avid hunter and angler, he still frequently returns to Wyoming for the most recently for elk hunt near, I don't know what he's saying, family near Casper. All right. Regarding dining on rodents, he explained how the dinner, which included prairie dogs' hindquarters, came about. In the 1990s, I helped organize a meeting that managed to specialize in wildlife biologists in the western Nebraska. Prior to this great dinner of bison steak, we had appetizers of prairie chicken, sharp-tailed grouse, and prairie dog hindquarters. We marinated them in zesty Italian dressing and then grilled them. The idea was, because the event was organized on the prairie conservation, a full range of prairie wildlife should be on the menu, Jasmer says. He and his colleagues had shot prairie dogs themselves. I removed the hind and a few front quarters, skinned and froze them. When I skinned out of the individual quarters of the rodents, I left the feet and claws on to differentiate them from the grouse drumsticks. Of course, you don't want to get those two mixed up. How far paw? However, the cooking process produced some frightening looking results. I anticipated that the heat of the grill would cause the tenderloins to tighten up and pull the toes and the nails, oh God, here we go, into a rather scary, sad, contracted claws position. This alone put a few people from sampling him, but they also served them with nifty toothpicks just to get over the thing. His own personal assessment that prairie dog hindquarters were certainly palatable, that weren't actually a delicacy. No, they didn't look good. You know, when you look at them, they weren't as good as the bison steak we had a little bit later on. And I'm not going to lie, I tell people that it tastes like chicken. Watch out for the fleas, he says. If anyone's considering shooting and cooking prairie dogs for themselves, he said, watch out for the fleas on the animal's hides. All right, so there you go. So I know everyone's like, I don't want to eat the, but you know, it's do or die sometimes. Now, granted, we're not in a situation right now where we have to worry about that, but there are some times where maybe, you know, at one time, who thought of a lobster? Lobster is the cockroach of the sea, and they pull him up and they go, hey, let's eat his ass. Let's eat his tail. Let's see what that looks like when we cook it. And they charge millions and millions of dollars overall in the years, you know, for people to eat lobster. I mean, it's a big deal for us here in the United States to eat. Yeah, things are weird all over. Now, this thing right here, my wife and I, when I proposed to her, we went camping. You know, we moved up here to North Carolina. We went camping, and I made it. I had everything all planned out. We were on the top of the Pisgah Mountain, Pisgah National Forest, and that's Piskah or something like that. I forget what the name of it is. And I said, let's go camping. And it couldn't have been the worst time camping. It rained the whole entire time we were up there. We were in the mountains. It was cold. You couldn't get a cell signal. And anytime we needed to get food or anything, we had to drive down the mountain and to the local Piggly Wiggly. You want to talk about having prairie dogs for food? I'm going to a place called, no, it wasn't Piggly Wiggly. It was called Ingles. Same shit. And what she didn't know was I was trying to download the song where, you know, I was like going, you know, this is the song I'll propose to her at. So we get back up the mountain. I've got the song downloaded on my phone. You know, we came down the mountain, came up the mountain, and it's raining and pouring, and she's just having a horrible time. You know, she's wet, I'm cold, I'm wet, and we're sitting in the campsite underneath the tent that's got the screen on it, and we're trying to keep the fire going. You can't keep the fire going because everything's wet. And I said to myself, at 2:38, which is my lucky number, 2:38, I'm going to propose to her, and, you know, and ask her, you know, get on my hands and knees, play the song. I had everything all lined up. Now, granted, the weather wasn't the best thing, and everything, it could have been, you know, all of a sudden the sun came out in her eyes, in her face, and she lit up. It was still raining, though. And she was like, oh my God. She was shaking and nervous and cold probably at the same time. And I said, you know, hey, you know, focus. She's, at the time she was like, oh, this is horrible. We're not having a good time. And I'm like going, hey, look at me. Focus on me. Would you marry me? And I'm getting a little choked up thinking about it. And she said yes. Oh my God, yes. So we only had like another day and a half there on the site. I had a good time. I had to sneak the ring, the engagement ring, in my bag. You've seen the movies like that. But this couple right here, this unlucky couple, accidentally set their romantic proposal on Orange Beach in a not so very safe for work spot. Now you go, okay, what was it, a nude beach? Well, not exactly. Beautiful Orange Beach, which is in Alabama, is one of the few beach communities, yet one of the most beloved spots in the whole entire Gulf Coast. This modest seaside town is home of relaxing resorts, exciting attractions, and of course the stunning beaches that give this place its name. Basking in the warm glow of the sunset, those beaches are perfectly for a dreamy romantic proposal. That dreamy romance proposal was one this couple thought they were getting into with their beach proposal on October 9th, 2 days ago, when they didn't realize the prospective ground that they were standing on was actually not a very safe for work spot. The couple might not have seen it, but one bystander caught a bird's eye of actually what was going on. So if you want to see this, hold on. I know I got cameras and stuff hiccuping, and I'll go ahead and just turn this guy off. See you later. Am I so good here? I guess I'm so good here. So if you want to see the actual video here, make sure you go over to YouTube, like and subscribe to us over there on our YouTube channel, and you can see this in real time and all the other podcasts we do in real time as we're talking about these articles here on the air. So here we go. Hold on, lady. Hold on. So this couple is on the beach, and there's not a whole lot of traffic. The sun is just barely going down. You can't see it from the video, but you can tell it's almost dusk. And this couple, man, kneels down on his knees, and this is from like a balcony of a hotel. She zooms in on this couple proposing or getting ready to, be proposed to. And this is the outcome of it. So here we go. Hold on. Let me switch this on. And can we see this? Yep. Here we go. Oops. All right, music. All right. So he kneels down. Excuse me. He kneels down. He's proposing to her, but what he doesn't realize is that we play it again. So you know how kids draw in the sand, right? You write your name and whatever. Someone had drawn a big, huge dick in the sand. Pair of balls, big old long shaft, big old penis head. And it was so large that standing on the ground, you couldn't see it. But when you're up on the balcony, it looks like he's proposing to her. Well, not that it looks like. He is proposing to her inside this drawn-on penis on the beach. So if you want to see this, make sure you go over to YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe over there. And here you go. I'll show it one more time. Here we go. You can see there's the balls. There's the big shaft. Oh, my God. For real? Oh, my God. I love you. Do you love me? I love you. Oh, my God. This is the best day of our life. You can hear the girl in the background going, you don't know what you're doing there, buddy. I don't know if you can hear the girl. She's laughing. There's a big pair of balls and a big dick. There's like a drawn on the heart. So there you go. Plan your surroundings. That seemed a little impromptu. I would have had, something else planned out, but everyone does their thing, and if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. All right, guys, on that note, I'm going to let you get back to enjoying the rest of your day. Make sure you follow us on your YouTube channels. Make sure you like and subscribe to us on your social medias. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on TikTok. You can follow us on Instagram as well. Make sure if you want to be heard, go over to Prophet Radio, proud sponsors of DeaconLive. Click that little bar. It says Be Heard. If you want something for free, we'll send you out a little prize pack over there. You can see all the different shows that are produced here in the Prophet Radio studio. So pick out a podcast that you like. fill out that little form. It's not an email grab, believe me, by all means. We'll send you a little prize pack over there as well. All right, guys, on that note, I'm going to let you get back to doing what you got to do. My name is the Deacon saying good night and good night.
Wait. Come back.
The absolute end. God damn.
Écoute-moi.
I can't, it won't run the audio thing that records the audio, like straight audio, and the video at the same time for some reason. All right, guys, thanks. Take care.